Hello everyone, welcome back. So while we're complaining and finding ways to reopen schools in Nigeria, nobody's really having any sort of headway. The government, the people, the parents, everybody's just saying contradictory stuff. So while we're all doing that in Nigeria, some countries are already starting to resume schools. Some countries, and I'm not just talking about countries in Europe or in America, I'm talking about countries here in Africa. Now, in this particular article, according to Vanguard News, I'm talking about Côte d'Ivoire, that's Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is now allowing their pupils, the students, to go back to work. They're allowing them to go back to school. Now, this may seem very reckless to us over here, where we are considering the fact that so many of those students might go to the school, contract the virus, and give it to the elderly ones at home, maybe the grandma at home, and inadvertently kill the grandma and things like that. So that's also a very big possibility in that place. And one thing that we have to realize in Côte d'Ivoire is that they have not even gotten to the peak of their curve on COVID-19. So it's not like maybe everything has already started to subside in Côte d'Ivoire. That's not exactly what is happening over there. The reason why they're doing it is because it is becoming completely unsustainable for you to just keep students at home. So that's one of the reasons why they're doing it. It's not because everything has already calmed down. In a country that's not even up to half of our population, they have 2,376 cases at this moment, and they're already returning the students back to school. That's why I keep saying we may have to end up using the Sweden model. So that's the Swedish model. What Sweden did. Sweden didn't close down its economy at all. What they just did was that they isolated those people that are vulnerable. The vulnerable people in the population, that's the old people and those people with pre-existing condition. That is, if you have diabetes, if you have kidney disease, if you have heart problems before. So those are the people most vulnerable to this thing. So even if you are young and you have all those, they call them comorbidities. So if you have those things in your body or you have issues with those aspects of your body, it is best for you to just stay at home. So those are the people that need to stay at home at this moment. Other people need to go outside and fend for themselves. And again, there is a very, very good news about this thing. According to studies in the United States, in China, all these things are very, very independent studies. So it's not like maybe they're just copying each other. Independent studies in different places, different countries on different continents. Also in Europe, in the Netherlands and some other places like that, they have already discovered that it's like students, not just students, I mean, little children are not really passing this thing along to the older ones. So they actually found out that it is very much more likely that it is the parents passing it to the children and not the children passing it the other way around. So even when the children are infected, it is very, very, like almost negligible for you to see a case where the children will pass it to their parents, even though they live in the same house. So there seems to be a particular pattern to this virus that it seems it is not spreading from children, which means children are not like carriers of the virus. And this is a very good news. If students are not carriers of the virus, then the major fear we have about the virus and opening up schools during this period has already been lifted. That's what it means, because the main problem and the main stuff we are facing, the main fear we are facing right now that the government is facing, is not just about the students themselves getting the virus, it's about them infecting the people that are vulnerable outside, because they know that students are not going to be socially distancing. That's just the fact. If you've had any sort of encounter with students before, you know that it's not going to happen. Whatever level you are talking about, talk about the nursery level. Are you going to be telling kindergarten students to isolate? It's not going to. How are you even going to communicate that? It's not going to work. Are you going to be telling those people in the nursery schools, in the primary schools, in the secondary schools? No student is all that responsible. We don't have students that are very responsible like that. They are not going to follow it. I'm telling you, those guys, you're going to see them playing ball all around. You're going to see them rolling around in the dirt. That's what students do. So if you are going to open up the school, just forget about social distancing. All you have to do is just make sure that the vulnerable ones are protected. But we don't have such facilities in Nigeria that can protect the old ones, because in Nigeria, it's not like maybe the old ones have some protection in their old age and all of that. Even the pension scheme that we have here, it's completely broken. It's not working. So we have so many problems that will not allow the sort of systems that they use outside the country to be very functional over here. But at the same time, it's not like maybe Côte d'Ivoire is a lot better than we are in this aspect. And they are trying to do it. They're trying to open up the schools. I mean, consider this thing. All those SS3 students have already done their WAEC, and I mean they've already done their JAM, and then waiting for WAEC and NECO at this period. I'm telling you, no matter what you're going to do about it, no matter the number of lessons you're going to be holding, which of course cannot be congregational lessons, like everybody coming together, because it has been forbidden. You must not gather together, which means it's all going to be dependent on those parents that can get their children private tutors. So if you're not able to sponsor your children to have private tutors, then you are screwed. That's basically what it means. But if you're able to do that, it's still not going to be exactly the same with you being in school. The rate at which you're going to be serious in school is not going to be the same, especially if you let's say that your child is from a boarding school. Boarding school is just impossible. The mentality of boarding school student is when you go back home, you are at home to play, you are at home to flex. That's exactly what it is. I went to a boarding school. That's how we feel about home. We don't feel about home in the way that maybe some day student can feel about home, that maybe they are at home, then they have to read and all of that. It's just not part of the system for boarding students. So that's just it. So you're basically screwing them over. Even though they read as much as possible, it's never going to be equal to the amount of effort they'll be putting in if they are back in school. Now imagine somebody that has a very good grade in the JAMB, and then you are leaving him at home for so long. I'm telling you, the mental abilities, okay, not the mental abilities now, don't let me get too cynical. The mental abilities, or let me put it this way, like the sharpness of the student is going to start degrading over time. That's just it. If you have ever experienced any sort of strike, let's say that maybe while you were in tertiary institution and maybe there was a strike for months, when you go back to school, you are going to have this sort of reluctance towards reading. Not only reluctance, while at home, maybe the first month you try to keep reading, I'm telling you, it's going to go down. Your effort will start going down, because people cannot just stay on the edge and keep at alert for so long without having the thing show up. What you are waiting for show up. So if you have indefinite period of waiting, it's going to start weighing on your soul, it's going to start weighing on your mind, and you are going to give up at the end of the day. So that's exactly the danger that is actually with this thing. Now we are saying it's almost like, yes, you don't really care, you don't care about old people, you don't care about people that are vulnerable. It's not that. We are talking about the future of the young ones right now, who of course are not even vulnerable to this disease. That's what I'm trying to say. Why should they be the ones suffering when they are not even vulnerable to the disease? And we can actually get some system in place to protect the elderly and the vulnerable ones. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Anyway, thank you very much. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. On YouTube, it's Naija on Seal, and on Facebook, make sure you like the page, share with your friends, and on Instagram. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.